Our next speaker is a big fan of 80s music. She sings along with the music with made-up lyrics. Everyone, please welcome Xilin.
Thank you, everybody. My name is Xilin Chen. I am the analytics manager at the Obstetrics Initiative at Michigan Medicine. And today I'm really excited to present how my team used Quarto to create hospital quality improvement reports and how the hospitals use these reports to safely lowering their cesarean rates. Disclosure, OBI is sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield, but views are my own. So why reduce the cesarean rate? Fun fact, cesarean is actually the most performed major surgery in the US. So 1 in 3 births in the US is born through cesarean, according to CDC. So cesarean can be life-saving when used appropriately, but when overused, it carries significant health and financial consequences. So a couple benefits of having vaginal delivery is better patient outcomes, shorter hospital stays, and it's much cheaper. And so our goal at Obstetrics Initiative is really to reduce the inappropriate cesarean and to maximize the benefit of cesarean surgery and reduce the risk. So when we are talking about cesarean rates, we are actually talking about a very specific cohort of patients that are having low risk of having cesarean. When you look at reports of comparing cesarean rates, usually this is the particular group of patients you are looking at. So these group of patients are first-time mom and carry the baby at least for 37 weeks or above. And the baby is just one baby, no twins. And the baby is in head-down position. So this particular group of patients are considered low risk. They are really the optimum group of patients of having vaginal delivery. Collecting data. So how our data is collected. So here is just kind of a simplified flow of our data. So imagine a birth happened in one of the Michigan hospital, and that is our member hospital. And then the birth would get entered into the electronic health record system. And at each of our hospitals, there are clinical data abstractors. They are usually nurses or people who have a clinical background. They look at their electronic health record and identify whether this birth is part of our low-risk birth. Say, if it is, then the clinical data abstractor will look at the health record and then enter the health information into a standardized form. So we do that at each of our 70 hospitals, and all of this information get entered into the standardized form, ended up in a centralized database. We call it the Obstetrics Initiative registry. Here are some facts of our data. We have been collecting data since 2019, and we have more than 150,000 low-risk births from over 70 different maternity hospitals at Michigan. For each case, we have up to 400 different variables associated with each case. And then all the cases are from the electronic health records at each of our hospitals. Okay, I have talked a little bit about our data, and now I want to transition to how we actually use the data to build our reports. Our audience is mostly clinicians and hospital administrators. So we want to build our reports to be interpretable. So at my group, we use Quarto and R as a foundation of all of our analytical reports. For these who are not familiar with Quarto, Quarto is an open-sourced publishing system that can be used for reports and dashboards. And if you are a R user, you know R Markdown, and Quarto is very, very similar to that. But you can not only you can use R and Python, and there are a couple other languages you can use using the Quarto system, so you are not only limited to R. At my group, we use exclusively R plus Quarto to build our reports. So using this foundation, we are hoping to achieve 3 aspects of our reports. First, interpretability, and standardization, and scalability. And I will dive into each aspect of it. Interpretable. Okay, so we want our reports to be clean and actionable. We use our package called GT table to make great tables, and we use ggplot to make clean plots. And to highlight our findings and provide recommended action items to each of our hospitals, we heavily rely on call-out boxes. So in the call-out boxes, we put customized messagings to each of our hospital and to guide them how you should interpret this data and what recommended next action steps you can take. And these are 2 screenshots of our actual reports. Okay, for target and tracking. Working in reducing cesarean rate is like many medical problems. It's very complex. But one of the reasons to make reducing cesarean rates very complicated is that there's no gold standard of what your cesarean rate should be. I always like to make the comparison that reduce cesarean, you never want to reduce your cesarean rate to be 0% because there are cases that you really need a cesarean. It's not like cancer, like, yeah, 0%, that's your target. So there is no actual real gold standard of what your cesarean rate should be. Say if we have a hospital, their rate is at 26%. Is it too high or too low? There's really no way for us to tell. And that's because of that reason, like when we do hospital quality improvement, we talk to our hospitals. One of the first reasons when we talk to our hospitals of why they have high cesarean outcomes, they always say, well, because my patients are really sick, they need cesarean. And we hear that almost at every hospital we go to. So you already see the problem. Like, it's mathematically not possible to have all the hospitals have sicker patients than the average. So the way we address this is we build we give each of our hospital of a expected rate. This is a predicted probability based on a mixed model. We run a mixed model, use all of the hospital's patients' information, and for a particular individual hospital, we plug their patient information, and then we spit out a predicted probability based on the patients you actually serve. So this gives them a comparison of their performance compared to their peers. And how we operationalize this is at the beginning of the year, usually in January, we would give them a summary report and then let them know, hey, Hospital A, your expected rate this year is at, say, 25%. And then this is to better serve their quality improvement cycle, because they usually make their target at the beginning of the year. And at each month, we would provide them with a monthly performance report. So the one on the left corner, we would highlight like things, if they are on track, it will be in teal. If things are not on track, it will be in pink. PDF prints. So our audience love PDFs. They like to print things out. They like to write things down. We use a slightly unconventional way. I don't know compared to other people. We actually render our Quarto document directly to HTML instead of PDF. We render all of our reports to HTML, and we use a function from page down to print, literally print the HTML to PDF. So the reason we choose this route is because my old day of working in R Markdown, like working in R Markdown, if you render to PDF, you have to deal with like the tables and plots with shifting around mysteriously, just don't know why. So to avoid that, we render it directly to HTML and print. And I'm happy to report that we never had any problem with that. Standardized. The goal of us is we want all of our reports look standardized. No, if you see a report from our team, you know it's from us. No matter I do it or my teammates do it, they should all look very standardized. How we do this is we have a templated Quarto document with templated YAML and CSS. We use all of our themed color and font. So this way, we ensure that we all start at a standardized place and all reports looks good out of box. To further standardize our visualizations and code, we created a internal package called Obstinate. So this package, we have functions from data processing to data visualization, and I wanted to just highlight two functions. If you look at our internal code base, you will see all the tables are in the end get cleaned by GT_OBI, and all ggplot will be getting OBI themed as well. So this really ensures just one line of code, but all the tables and ggplot will look very uniformed no matter who is doing the reports. Scalable. We work with more than 65 maternity hospitals in Michigan at any given time, and we need to build reports for them all. And also, a lot of times, we have to update these reports on a very regular cadence. So scalability is very important to us. So how we do this in Quarto is we use parameters. Our workflow is we would build one report just for one hospital as our sample site. And we do that one report iteration with our clinicians. They will tell us what they want to put in the reports, and we build the code base just focusing on this one hospital. That way, it allows us to focus solely on the content and don't have to worry about the computation and scalability. And once we're happy with our content, we use parameters in our reports. So this way, after all the building, it's very easy to scale from one hospital to 70 hospitals. Okay, pushing out the key points. Using Quarto with R to build reports and building internal packages, parameterize your reports, and one PDF, print your HTML. And this work did not build by myself. This is my analytic team. I want to do a shout out to all of them: Sia Bordeaux, Rebecca Wardrop, and Jessica Yeazer. Thank you.